and welcome to India.com's Point of View with me, Tritiya. So Nepal's new currency note has sparkled new talks about the border arguments. India and Nepal have a complex relationship. They share historical, cultural and even economic ties, but also face occasional tensions and disagreement, particularly over border issues like Kalapani. So recently the dispute came into focus when the Nepal's government announced that the new 100 rupee note would feature a map that included the disputed border area in the northwest where India, Nepal and China meets. Well, the note also displays the contested territories of Lipulekh, Limpiyadhura and Kalapani, which Nepal claims as its own. They said that India took them after the 1962 border war with China. Well, each country says that it owned these areas based on the old arguments, who controls them now and how they see the maps. Nepal says that it had these areas before the Sugauli Treaty of 1815. The Treaty of Sugauli was signed after the Anglo-Nepalese War defined the modern borders between India and China. On the other hand, India says they have always been part of this land since the colonial times. Meanwhile, China is interested in the area because it's close to Tibet and shares a border with Nepal. Well, China wants to keep its influence there, which makes the situation even more complicated. Recent events like Nepal putting these areas on its new money have made things tense and shown how hard it is to solve these disagreements. Meanwhile, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar opposed this act and said, "With Nepal, we were having discussion about our boundary matters through an established platform. And then in the middle of that, they unilaterally took some measures on their side. But by doing something on their side, they are not going to change the situation between us or the reality on the ground." In 2019, there were tensions between Kathmandu and New Delhi when India released an official map including Kalapani and Lipulekh areas of Nepal, areas that Nepal consider its own. In January 2020, Nepal's parliament voted to change its map to include Lipulekh, Kalapani and Limpiyadhura as part of its own territory, whereas India didn't agree with this change. Then again, in May 2020, tensions rose when India opened a new 80-kilometer road in Uttarakhand through the Lipulekh Pass, a route for Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage. Nepal's foreign minister spoke with India's ambassador and sent a note protesting the road's construction, whereas India disagreed, saying that the road was its own territory. Nepal responded by releasing a new map, claiming about 370 square kilometers of land at the border with India and China. In 2022, Nepal asked India to stop building the road in its territory without agreement. The disagreement has made India and China's relationship tense and led many people from all over the world to urge them to talk and find a solution. Well, for more such interesting videos, do follow India.com's International Affairs.